Instead of the grouping of communicating effectively, the second competency is evokes awareness. This is defined by ICF as the coach facilitates client insight and learning by using tools and techniques such as powerful questioning, silence, metaphor, or analogy. There are 11 markers in the evokes awareness. We're going to look at the first few in this video. Number 1 is considers client experience when deciding what might be useful. And so this one is about thinking about what this client needs in this moment and recognizing the fact that what works for one client may not work for a different client. And so we have to be able to adjust to the type of client we have, what they respond to, and what works for them. So for example, with some clients, they think in pictures, metaphors, analogies, things like that are really, really helpful for them. Other people think really concretely and they're not an image person. So working with them with a metaphor might not resonate. Some clients are really more concrete, more thinking about let's do the work, let's focus on the task, let's just do, get things done. And other clients might really like to dig deeper into feelings and emotions and experience things. Still, some other clients might be like, let's take a deep breath. Let's meditate. Let's spend some time talking about what's happening around us in the spirit world or whatever. And as you can see, those are 3 very different type of people. And so what works with one won't work with another. So it's up to us to consider the client's experience of coaching when we're deciding what might be most useful for that client. Number 2 says that the coach challenges the client as a way to invoke awareness or insight. So when we're evoking awareness and insight in the client, that is us like pressing buttons and pulling levers and pulling on strings and trying to trigger more understanding in the client. So when you're coaching, support is fabulous and we have to support the client. And we need to meet that level of support with the equal level of challenge. So it doesn't do us any good to just support our client and to be there and be in their side and cheering them on and feeling emotion with them and being supportive and sympathetic. All those things are fine. And in order for them to get new awareness and new learning and make new growth, they need an equal level of challenge. So we need to ask confronting questions, ask powerful questions, challenge thinking. When they say something that sounds like that might be some kind of a limiting belief happening right there, being willing to say something, being willing to challenge that way of thinking. Being willing to bring to light what we heard them say. So if they say, well, I'll never be able to do that, then talking about that, you'll never be able to do that. There's no way that could ever happen. It's just completely out of the question. You'll never be able to do that. What gives you the sense that you'll never be able to do that? Right? So, challenge is important to help clients to see things from different perspectives and to help them understand what they're doing and to have a better light around the way they're thinking and the impacts of the way they're thinking on their own success. Marker number 3 says the coach asks questions about the client, such as their way of thinking or their values, their needs, their wants and beliefs. A very important part of coaching is to focus on the client and what the client wants and what the client needs, not just on the problem the client's trying to solve or what the client is trying to accomplish. So part of that whole thing is asking, well, what is it that you really want? What would you like to see happen next time? How would you like it to be? And it may also be making observations. Like, when I hear you talk about this, it sounds like there's a strong value of justice that's coming out. What do you think? Right? So bringing that to the client, what we see and what we hear in them, asking them what they believe. So often you'll hear clients talk about something and it sounds like, that might be a limiting belief right there, right? And so you could say, like, so what's the story you're telling yourself when you think this? Or what's the thing playing in your mind as you say, this is an impossible task, right? You might be asking them about a challenge they're describing at work, or maybe when they are having trouble with emotion at work or something like that. And you're asking them, so what happens in that moment, right before what's going on in your mind, what emotions are coming up in your body. Right? So we want to make sure that we're looking at what they need. What is it you want? What is it you need out of this situation, out of this relationship, in this thing that you're bringing? And then the last one here is number 4, which is ask questions to help the client explore beyond their current thinking. So we're always looking to widen the client's range of thinking. So if they're thinking in this very small little box, then we want to push the boundaries of that box. What's on the outside of that box? If they're thinking there's a barrier in front of them, then how do you go around that barrier? Or what if you were beyond the barrier and the barrier didn't actually exist anymore? How would you do this? All right, so we're always wanting to push them beyond the boundaries of where they're thinking right now so that they can uncover and discover new ways of doing things, new solutions, new ideas, new thoughts, so that they can be the person they want to be and accomplish what they want to accomplish.